Okay.
This is a story of one coach
Okay.
and two playing venues. The coach is a no-nonsense kind of guy called Michael.
You play footy on my whistle and my call. You'll position yourself at the next station.
The venues, well, there's lots of scope here for visual and verbal puns, which normally I would avoid like the plague, but not cliches, obviously. However, today the temptation is just too great. For instance, location 1, the bomb site that is Claremont Oval. The big trees have gone. The perimeter is dug up and desolate. End of days. A metaphor for a premiership disappointment in the year just gone. But this is also a brave new world riding the winds of change, a phoenix if you like. What's happening here is a commercial template for other clubs, because Tigerland is being torn down and rebuilt. The club, that is, not the team. Rebuilding is not a word favoured by the new Claremont coach, Michael Broadbridge. And this is why.
To me, it's almost like, well, we can cop a poor performance because we're rebuilding. And I don't buy into it. I've heard it used many times by many different clubs and coaches. And to me, the connotation is almost an acceptance that performance can slip while we're rebuilding.
Could it not also be you've got a new rebuilt team, therefore the demands on you are higher and you should perform more?
It could possibly be that. To me, no matter what stage you're at in a club's development, it's all about improvement and developing what you've got. And, you know, it's true that we've had the biggest turnover of premiership players in the history of football in any domestic competition in Australia over the last 2 years. There's no team that has ever lost 17 premiership players within 2 years. And we have had to rely on the fact that we are a tremendous breeding ground of talent. The motto of the football club has always been to develop from within, and that's what I plan to do.
Go, boys.
Michael Broadbridge didn't chase the Claremont job. The club went after him.
Certainly in my position and my stage in life, you know, I need to work full time, and I have a fantastic job with the WA Institute of Sport, which I really enjoy, and the club was very supportive of me doing both of those roles, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability.
Michael, I accept the fact that they looked for you, but even so, what was the thing that made you get the job, do you think?
Well, I have a passion for the game, and I have a clear vision as to how I want to develop my players. I have a teaching philosophy in terms of treating the players as individuals, caring for them and being honest with them. And those traits I explain to the board and the decision makers. I love coaching. I've been involved in football my whole life as a player and as a coach. I've had lots of different levels of experiences, lots of different levels of success and failure. And I think that the timing for this football club and my appointment was perhaps a good match.
Well, they obviously like what you said with your vision for the players and so on. But how different is your vision from what was existing here at Claremont in fairly successful years just recently?
Oh, I don't know if it was because, you know, a lot of the
not
culture...
Not successful or not existing?
No, I don't know whether my vision was any different to what the previous coach or the coach before him had for the football club, because from the outside this club has been very successful, and that was something that I was very clear to and keen to explore when I took on the position. It was, what have you done which has enabled you to have such sustained success, and let's make sure we capture that and keep that. I'm not coming in here to change any aspect of that. What I want to do is try and add elements to it which will hopefully enable us to continue to be that club that you have been.
After playing with Swans and East Fremantle, Broadbridge was assistant coach to John Todd and Mick Malthouse at Collingwood. You can hear the question coming. What kind of a coach will you be? What kind of a human being will you be? Tough, generous, inscrutable, hard, what?
I think it's a bit situational. I'd like to think that I'm honest as the number one trait. I'll tell the player my honest opinion as to what I think the situation is for them, and I think that they respect that. And at the same time, you know, Mick Malthouse was my biggest influence from a coaching perspective, and I think one of his great assets was his ability to treat people as individuals without the collective taking that as preferential treatment for one person over another. And I think that was Mick's sort of secret to coaching. Quite often the players refer to him as a fatherly figure. He had the ability to be hard when it was required, to love them when it was required, and to treat individuals different depending on their makeup, their DNA.
You can do that?
I like to think I try to do that. I'm not pretending that I'm Mick Malthouse, but I like to think that I can be brutally honest with a player, look him in the eye, and that he knows I'm doing it to get the best out of him, as opposed to it being a personal thing where he perhaps thinks I'm doing it for other reasons. So, you know, that's certainly the type of coach I aspire to be. Am I it now? Probably not, but that's certainly what I would like to be known as. And also, you know, as a teacher, a developer of people, not only on the field, but off the field as well.
Claremont has played its last game here for the next 2 years, which brings me to that second location, right next door, the Showgrounds, their new temporary home. Tiger detractors, and they do exist, will be spoiled for choice when it comes to insults. How can they go past a bunch of clowns, fairy floss, show ponies, or most cruelly, CWA cream puffs? While those who have high hopes for Claremont can also find inspiration. There's best of breed, best in show, and my favourite, grand champions. What chance of that, Michael Broadbridge?
Will we be the team that they're used to seeing winning 17 or 18 games straight? Well, clearly that's going to be a challenge, and the reality is it's probably going to be not the case.
Did you think it was going to be a challenge before last
weekend?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because you talk about the winning culture, you like that about Claremont, and demonstrably you were not winning last weekend.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Not good. I'm very competitive, as are all the people at the Claremont Football Club, and it hurt me the way that we played. There's no doubt about that. It would have hurt me if I was coaching an under-14 team and they dished up a similar performance.
Why? Why?
Well, I take winning very seriously.
No. Why did they dish up that performance?
We were beaten by a side that was probably, for whatever reason, better prepared in a whole heap of different ways.
It comes back to you then, does it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the coach has got to take responsibility for that, and I have already taken that responsibility. A number of factors. It's, you know, when you lose in football, you analyse and you can sort of paralyse yourself from analysis, and I think no matter which way we turned, we found negatives in our performance. Which
have you been analysing yourself all this last couple of days?
Yeah, didn't sleep that well over the weekend. As of 7 o'clock last night, it's about moving forward, putting in place tonight some strategies to give the players the confidence to address the areas they were poor in, to train those areas, to walk off the track feeling good about themselves, to look forward to Thursday night training, and then to attack Saturday with some vigour that perhaps was lacking on the weekend.
A bit of a tough call on Saturday, isn't it?
Oh yeah, look, it's, you know, reigning premiers on their home deck. You know, I think the comp is incredibly good and strong, well coached. Obviously, with the alignment clubs this year, adds an extra dimension to it in terms of the difficulty for other clubs. But at the same time, we've got to rise. So it is what it is, and we've got to all get better at what we do. I think we've created a really good training environment with some great coaches. We've now got to transfer that into action and performances on the field. Do
you seriously think, Michael, that against West Perth, the winning feeling is going to come back? Seriously? Yeah, I do. I can't see why not. We've got a Sandover medalist. We've got a guy who finished third in the Sandover. We've got a Premiership AFL ruckman. We've got a very strong midfield. We've got a number of strengths that clearly didn't perform to the level of expectation on the weekend for the reasons I went through before. I have no doubt that if I've got no doubt they've got pride, and I've got no doubt if those guys fire, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and the opposition will struggle to beat us.